see you in the land of Mordor. Death awaits you at the border. Pass on through.
Alright, Middle Earth role-playing fans. Roman Days here back with Creatures of Middle Earth. A bestiary of animals and monsters. I think I butchered that word, but oh well. I'm your host, Roman Daysol. So we're looking at all the creatures from Tolkien's The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Unfinished Tales, and whatnot. This was 8005 of the series, made in 1988. So this one came before the dwarves, orcs, hobbits, elves, and ents. Can't remember what I paid for it, but it's a lot thinner book. It's in better shape than the other books. Obviously, I don't read it that much. I really don't use it. There's no real reason to. But let's just go over it. So it's got the foreword, introduction, abbreviations, and developing stats and all that fun stuff. So it's got origins, artists, creatures, how everything became part of the being. So a chain of life would be Eru, the one, Iluvatar, or God. The Valar, who are the greater angels. The Maiar, who are the lesser angels. Then it goes the children of Iluvatar, which would be elves, men, dwarves, etc. Olvar, which are trees and grasses. And finally the Kalvar, which are birds and mammals and fish. Then you have Morgoth, monsters. Basically, this is just an animal glossary, so bats and birds. Nothing really outrageous. Just tells you a little bit what birds there are in a certain region. Like, for example, let's go with black swans are found from Mordor and northward in the Wilderland as far as the southern reaches of Mirkwood. They're also quite common in the river valleys of Nurad and Rovania. Like, yay, I don't really need to know that stuff. And it gives you a range of all these birds. Echo hawks, flying foxes, then the great eagles. Now that's cool. The great eagles, it tells you about Throndir, Lord of the Eagles in the First Age. His descendant Gwaihir, Lord of the Misty Mountains. Yeah, it just goes in your basic flying creatures that you would find anywhere else in the world. Would I use this on a campaign thing? No, of course not. Don't need to. And it's got more locations in northwestern Middle Earth. Then we go to Water Beast. Here we have a water table of the surrounding lands and where you can find these things. Again, not something I'm really interested in. You know, this is good reading when you're on the toilet, but that's about it. Fall off a boat, you want to know where there's sharks in the water. Like, I'm not too worried about pike or clams or anything like that. Insects and spiders. Well, that's a little more different. Cliff hornets from Mordor. The Knickerbreakers that you find in the Midgewater marshes. Morgay flies. Stuff like that, you want to know where they are. And again, it gives you where these things are. It doesn't really go into a lot of detail about the bugs. Amphibians and reptiles. Same idea. You get vipers, tortoises, green asps. So poisonous snakes, yeah, you want to know where those are. Rock vipers, sea crocodiles. Again, nothing. It's interesting to read, but that's about it. The leaf eaters. So if you're going hunting, you want to know there's what's in the region. The Kine of Ara, that's the one where Boromir's horn was made from. One of the Kine of Ara. So that's, that story's good. Yeah, that's a good story. So you want to know if you can hunt something to eat, I guess. Riding and draft animals. Again, elven horses. Horses of Mordor. Mirris. So you're looking at Shadowfax. The Mumakil, the Oliphants. Then you got the meat eaters. So black bears, blue bears, black minks, blue otters, cave bears, death shrews, dire wolves, fishing cats. Everything you're going to find in certain regions. The modules themselves will mention these things anyway, so this is just a compendium of what you're going to find. D&D has a much better bestiary compendiums than this. D&D does a better job. I don't know what they were thinking here. Other dangerous animals like boars, and it has the boar of Everholt, which King Folka of Rohan went after, but he got killed himself. Gray apes, things like that. White wolves. Now we get to the more interesting part, which is the monster glossary. So demonic water monsters like demon whales, fell turtles, which is mentioned in the Adventures of Tom Bombadil. Giant Hellbenders. Not sure where that one comes from. I think that's from Mouse of the Entwash. Red Jaws are from Mines of Moria. Watchers in the Water. Watchers in the Water. Evil Hjorns and Trees. So you got Old Man Willow. Is one of them. Then next is Demons, so Balrogs, which are basically in Volume 1 anyway. But it does give a description of Gothmog, Lord of the Balrogs. The Balrog of Moria, and then another one they used in other books. Black Demons. The Dinde of the Nan Gulden, which is in Mirkwood. Demons of Aglarond. The one in the Court of Ardor. The Winds of Tarang. You know, the ones they made up for the modules. D&D has much better ones. When it comes to that, there's more. It talks about the one Leaf Demons. Demons of the Leaves of the Umli Face. Ungoliant. Vampires of Morgoth. Then we get into something better. Dragons. It talks about the dragons. The general features of the dragons. This is the better part of the book. It talks about cave drakes, cave worms, cold drakes. So cave worms are the ones that Peter Jackson uses most in The Hobbit. He uses those things to represent how the orcs got around the Lonely Mountain and attacked out of nowhere. But the book is much better where they just go around the Grey Mountains and hide in caves. Cold drakes, and it gives a listing of the cold drakes. So Ando Anka, and most of these can be found in the Grey Mountains. Skath's Tail. Then it goes ice drakes, land drakes, wind drakes, fire drakes, dragons of the withered earth. So on Galakon the Black, Glaurung, father of dragons, Intagast, Smog the Golden, and then Smog's Tail, Throckmaw. And we got some water drakes. I've had guys go after a rain drake in the shadow in the south. Wereworms, so sand drakes, wereworms. And then flying monsters, they call Creebane flying monsters. They're just big crows from Merc Dunland, so I don't know why they just happen to be evil in nature. Goes into the Fell Beast. It only mentions two, the Fell Beast of the Witch King and then the Fell Beast of the Court of Ardor. But really all the Nazgul, they wrote on Fell Beasts. We get giant races, giants. So The Hobbit does mention stone giants in the mountains. Trolls, you have to go to the other book, book 3. Pucal creatures, so the ones that the Druidan made. Giant spiders and insects. So you have Shelobs obviously going to be in there. So the undead beings, Barrow Wights being the big one in Arnor, near the Shire. Corpse candles, which would be the ones in the dead marshes. Corpse lanterns would be something the same. Ghosts. Now, ghosts are mentioned in the Silmarillion. Baramir's 12 companions, one of them betrayed Barahir and the outlaws in Dorothea. And he was killed by Sauron after he betrayed his companions, but he later reappeared to Beren and warned Beren of the danger. So Beren rushed to save his father and the companions, but it was too late. The other ghosts are the ones in the Past of the Dead, the Oathbreakers. Ghouls are never really mentioned in Lord of the Rings. Never hear about them. Mule-whips are mentioned in Tom Bombadil. The Adventures of Tom Bombadil book, he mentions one, and they're also in one of the adventure modules. Mouse of the Entwash. Sand Devils, skeletons. Tolkien never has skeletons coming to life in his works. Spectres, swamp stars, wargs. Wargs are bred from cursed wolves. Yep, they kind of disappear after you kill them. Werewolves were big in the Silmarillion. Sauron could turn into a werewolf at will. But that's it for those guys. And then you could generate creatures if you wanted to, where they are. And then it gives a master animal table and a specific creature table. And that's it. Now, this is just part of the collection. And is good bathroom reading. But other than that, I would never use this in a campaign setting or a military setting or any kind of setting. I have never used this book. I just read it. It's part of the collection. But any Middle-earth role-playing fans out there, let me know if you guys have this book. Were you able to use it? It's a good question. And hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends. tune into the channel because I'm going to keep doing these until I got the whole collection done. Anyway, until next time, this has been Roman Daysel. I'm out of here.
Black riders plague the countryside from ghostly eyes. They see inside your mind, turning bodies, burning riders sleep with the night. Brainwashed robots dying fast, shadows brave.